Hey there, Silver-Tongued Devil here, and in this live stream, we're going to be looking at Fletcher my style. Fletcher my way. Eventually. I call it Orph Annihilation for a reason, because we're just going after the orphans. Those are the big targets. We're also going to take out the bosses as well. But that's by the by, really. It's all about taking out those orphans, getting in those pits, doing the thing in the pits, getting out of the pits, killing the boss, and carrying on. Rooftop hopping to your heart's content, and as I have shown in the past, you can get a very good score very quickly, as long as you can do a handful of cycles. Hell, even if you can do one at the moment, I think you'd probably end up in the top 100. Let's see how it works, shall we? Good evening, Mr. Fish. Oh, and also hello to anyone who I haven't said good evening to. So first things first, where does it all begin? It all begins with Unusual Fortitude. This is the one to go for. This is the one that you want for the Fletcher mode. So just a quick intro for people who don't know what Fletcher is. Every arrow that is drawn is a random special arrow. Every shot that is missed deals damage to me. Scarce health drops, well, that's not true. That needs to be updated because we actually get quite a lot of health drops now. Only after pits and bosses, this is correct. No shops, this is correct. Teleport arrows cannot damage enemies, this is also correct. No achievement progression. Super bright. Why must you turn this lobby into a house of lies? There is achievement progression within Fletcher, and it's actually a really good way to progress your arrow upgrades, because you'll get all sorts of arrows that'll help towards it. Do bear in mind, you need to have the arrow that needs to be upgraded showing, so you need to have unlocked the arrow before you'd be able to start counting towards its upgrade progress. Right, so now we all know what Fletcher is. Fletcher is a bloody hard mode. First and foremost, we're going to take of the amulets Unusual Fortitude, because that will put us up to the maximum amount of health, which means that we can store plenty of health. So we will start out with 12, plus we'll have that armor, which we will lose pretty fast. And fuck Desolation. Right, what did I miss? I am not skipping to cycle 7. Sorry, Sean. That's another mode. Another mode we would do that. Okay, so lots of you, this is going to be teaching you to suck eggs, because I've shown you this plenty of times before, but there are lots of lessons. Ooh, can't even hear anything. Hold on a second. Oh, yes, I can hear it. So, before we get going, just make sure I've got audio this time. Yes, we have audio this time. Okay, so what we're going to do first. First port of call is find the pit, find the orphan. Now, you'll note I'm not killing anything. And I'm not killing anything because I don't want to risk losing lives. Now, yeah, I know, Sean. So I'm going to try not to kill anything, but there is a reason to kill, and it's not for the actual killing headshots or points. There is. Unusual Fortitude is the better shout. Let's go and have a quick check, see if the pit's in here. No, it's not. And away. I'll get to that in just a moment. Nope, not that one. Now, I am doing some kills here with good reason. And it is to get hold of an arrow that is capable of one-shotting the orphan. And the orphan is over there. And we're going to go in there. I'm just going to let fly and we're going to kill her. But what we want to do first is we want to cycle to an arrow that is capable of one-shotting her. Before we do that, the difference between Resistance Privilege and Unusual Fortitude is they both give us an extra block of life. One is in an armor format, one is in a life format. And exactly what Sean just said there, it gives you another slot to store more blood as opposed to another temporary armor. Because let's face it, you're going to drop a fucking shot at some point and lose that armor. So there's no point taking two. Now, Cupid's Wrath is not a great arrow for what we're about to do. We might as well get some kills out of it. Wildfire is also not a good arrow for what we're going to do. What we're looking for is a place where we can isolate enemies. Cheers. We can just get rid of Cupid's Wrath if we're still trying to cycle by throwing him to the air. Lightning Ball ×3. That is actually a good one, and we'll probably get some extra kills out of it as well. And we're literally going to jump straight down this girl's throat and headshot as close as possible, and then we're going to run. We're not going to kill anything because we don't need to. And one of the other things that we could do as well, because we've alerted a lot of the level whilst I've been moving around and just making sure that the pit is there, is going as far away from all of that nonsense that's behind us to here. And the reason being is that now despawns most of them. There's always two, isn't there? These are all unnecessary shots that we don't want to be taking. God, there's like loads. Did come back here to escape all of that attention. But we don't want to be drawing that level of attention. That was a great example of how not to do it. So, now what we're going to do. So, we've killed the orphan. Remember that the orphan is always in the third section of Purgatory, the second section of Paradise Lost, and can be in either section of Abyss. Well, this is the reason why I've developed this strategy, Sean, see, the one thing that I will say is even I'm now finding, because part of the reason why I developed this, or thought this was a good idea, was because you don't get a lot of health pickups, and there's a lot of opportunities for you to get damaged. Now, that has changed slightly, because we get an extra 1, 2, 3, 1, hang on. 1. We used to get 2 for the boss and 1 in the pit. We now get 3 for the bosses and 2 in the pit. So that's an extra 1, 2, 3, 4. We get an extra 5 chances at additional health. And I say chances because if you've got the Orphan Salvation up to maximum, there's a 30% chance that one of the health pickups that you pick up through the game would be a double. Now, note how I've jumped into the pit from very far away. The reason being, it's one of my IDU party icebreakers, is that, as you can probably tell, I'm an absolute hoot when it comes to parties and my icebreakers, but it's one of the little known things, and something that I've finally been able to find a use for, is that if you teleport into the pit, from where you teleport in is where you exit. So that means we can avoid all the guards, means we can avoid the ghosts that are at there, because we don't want to be killing any of that, because it is worth garbage points and it is not worth the risk as far as the kills are concerned. Now, this is only cycle 1, so everything is quite slow and laborious. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and get a decent arrow to kill the orphan with. Divine Sight ×3 isn't bad. Incursion is rubbish. Hand of God isn't too bad. There we go, Divine Sight ×5. Now, whilst using copious amounts of slow time, we're going to get right next to the orphan, kill her, and then we're going to run back to where we were. Now, the reason why we run back to where we were is because a lot of that nastiness that we... I'm glad. Hey, you're at a stage within the journey. It is completely acceptable, Sean. You can only see as far as you can see. So, by moving back through the level, we've despawned a lot of the enemies that we aggroed whilst going for that orphan. Now, I wouldn't say going for the orphan in that way is a good idea at much higher cycles. You want to do it nice and slow and methodically. Oh, good, that was easy. Now we are at a state of... But the one thing that is very important when you come into these pits is the reason why you are here is to get the orphan. Nothing else. Anything else is secondary. Getting the orphan is the important point because she's worth, is it 62,500, 63,500, something like that. I'm not even that bothered. Ooh, a lot of you here. Not even that bothered about getting headshots on most of these guys. I just want the kills because we're just trying to get rid of enough enemies for us to spawn the exit and then leave. This is the worst possible pit enemies that I could have for attempting this, because everybody loves skeleton archers. Everybody loves skeleton archers, right? Well, we were always going to lose that armor, so it doesn't matter really too much, does it? And now we are just going to make a point of cleaning up, but trying not to lose too much life. One of the things that we will get here, so it doesn't matter if we do take a couple of hits and maybe try for some risky headshots, is because we're going to get some heals at the end of this. So maybe we'll try and get a little bit more of a score. So this is what I've started doing now with this technique. But I'm a little bit long in the tooth with my own techniques, so I start trying to modify them a little. Yeah. Ow! And this is why I should really stay to my actual techniques and not deviate from them, because it's deviation that causes all the hits and causes all the problems. But as I said previously, we get an obscene amount of life now. You gonna kill you? Ugh, holy light. Oh, where have you gone? I can hear you. Oh, there you are. It's definitely a headshot. Cheat. So again, now we definitely need to calm down because we want to be avoiding losing life really here. But again, as I said, this is one of those don't do what Donny don't does situations. Right, so, Sean, do you remember what you just said about immolation? The Holy Light would... Holy Light would be a good arrow against Anakim if it was the 350 to 400% glitched version every time. But because I've been unable to find a way to get that glitch to work every time, it is not. Oh, that was a good headshot. Skills to pay the bills on that one. And you'll see from this golden spunk that is released from our groinal attachment area that the exit to the level is open. And we want to take no more shots other than the things that are an immediate threat, and we want to leave. There are enemies left. Those enemies are worth headshots, but we want to get the health, and we want to go. Now, here's something that you could do if you are very experienced with doing... Oh, that... What? thought I was in death then. It actually did what it's supposed to do and dropped into and dug into the floor. Anyway, so that was a terrible shot. So there is an argument here that by going through Anakim, there are 3 heals at the end of Anakim. So we can actually afford to be at around 8 life at the end of Anakim. So we could go through the level and get a load of headshots. If you do that fast, you will get a decent amount of points, as I showed off in the recent competition. Problem is, if you don't do it fast, then you won't get... I don't think you'll get enough points to make it worth your while. And by doing it fast, I can almost guarantee you will lose more life than it's worth. And this technique is about longevity. Note how I have cycled a little bit to get an arrow that is going to do the work for me on Anakim. Now this is more of a thing that I do at later cycles. And the reason being is because the first pit should be the problem, I guess. That's where you should be losing life if you're going to lose it anywhere. The rest of the game should be not easy, but easier. We make Anakim as easy as possible at the later cycles by making sure that this first arrow is either homing or multiple or explosive homing or what have you, just so that we can bingo him from a really far distance. I have missed that Winter's Bite shot so many times. Yes, that is... So this is something that I'm kind of working on at the moment. And die? No? This is something that I'm kind of umming and ahhing with at the moment. The problem is, as we all well know, a Fletcher run goes from awesome to shit in about the same amount of time as you can say that sentence. And so by not sticking to it and governing yourself by rules, you then start deviating from the plan and you start deviating from the strategy, as I did in the pit just then, thinking, oh, I'll get a few extra kills and try and go for some more headshots. And what did it cost me? It cost me life. Now, yes, that life can be replaced, but as soon as you start getting to that point where you haven't got enough life, or you didn't get enough doubles to get yourself up to full, and then it just takes a bad map, bad placement, a bit of bad RNG, and you get the wrong arrows or something along those lines, and all of a sudden, as I said, your run goes from awesome to shit in the same amount of time as you can say those 2 words together. Now, so we've completely skipped section 1 of there for a reason. That reason being, there is no pit and there is no orphan in section 1. There is no pit in Paradise Lost at all, and the orphan, I think, is just over there. Hello. So we teleport next to her, pop one of those in the head. Note how that is a 3-hit arrow, and it still didn't kill her. You want to be going for something... Winter's Bite times 3 is okay, but it's not great. Now, I don't need to be cycling arrows or doing anything at this point, but I did want to find a guy with a shield to show you that that counts as a hit. That also counts as a hit. And that's his shield, not him. You can use the shields to cycle arrows, but it can be risky because you are not dealing with the thing that you are shooting. You're just, you're not actually killing it. So it can be risky in your arrow cycling. That was terrible. Note how I kept on moving whilst I was waiting for my arrows to land as well. And there we go. And the big thing, every time you see this come up, I am using slow. Yes, yeah, only one of those arrows actually does the tick damage. The one thing that is okay about Winter's Bite ×3 in that scenario is you will definitely get time for a follow-up shot, because although Winter's Bite doesn't freeze the orphan, it does give you like a split second. You'll see that she gets frozen. The freezing effect actually works on her, and then it stops almost as quickly as it starts. But as you say, you will also get the tick damage. Now, let's get this geezer off the edge. Lovely, lovely. Divine Sight. We'll try and aim that up as high as possible. Hand of God is the best possible arrow we can have. Been playing the crossbow. Press the wrong button. Left, 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 left. Come on. Hand of God is great in this scenario because when eventually he dives down, you do that. He does this on purpose. Hey Gabe, I got you a sandwich. Yeah, see, works every time. Works 60% of the time, every time. Hand of God is great here because it just slows him right down. Go for headshots if you are comfortable with them. But, ultimately, again, we are after a quick kill. I will do a run. Note how me putting headshots in him is actually stifling his sword play. I didn't actually have to jump out the way of that. There we go. Hand of God is a great arrow for that, but if you don't get it, if you do get a Hand of God and he's dicking around in the background, you wait until he swoops and Hand of God him, and you can just make such easy work of him. Now again, look at this. Anybody who's played Fletcher will be disgusted at this scenario. I too am disgusted. There is health here. We can't store it in our backpack because we forgot our backpack. These aren't coming with us. These are lost. I mean, you know, we do operate a scorched earth policy on this channel, and I don't like leaving health behind. So, there we go. Now nobody can have them. We didn't need them, but at least anybody in my wake can't have them. But again, this leads the argument of, well, you know, is it worth then, if you know that you can do that boss without taking any hits and you're at full life, is it worth trying to get more points out of... Yeah, I know. But the argument is, should I then try and score more points through the level? And again, I would kind of go back to the argument of, yeah, well, a run goes from awesome to shit in just as quick a time as it takes to say it. I think that's 3 times. I'm obviously liking that phrase. It's 3 times I've said that now. It can go, like, you don't lose 1 health. You don't lose 1 health at a time in this mode. We all know that. Wildfire ×5, that'll do us if we hear an orphan. Is she down there? No, she's not, so we don't need to go down there. And now what I'm doing is I'm jumping from area to area where I know the orphan can spawn. Ooh, that was a close one, wasn't it? She can be over there. We've gone on the rooftops of all the areas that she can possibly spawn. So if she was anywhere other than over here, she would have spawned in by now. She is not here, ergo she is not in Abyss 1. I always turn back and have a look, just in case I've missed the pit, because it can be on back walls. Note how we can see the pit from over here. Might be able to see that. My stream should be good enough quality for you to see that little orange glow in the background. So we know, because the pit can be in either Abyss 1 or 2, we know the pit is in Abyss 2, which means that we don't have to worry that we've missed it there. And now, because I have an arrow loaded specifically for the orphan may be in the kitchen. eating chicken finger licking. Because we have wildfire ×5 and we're going in the pit next and we're going to have to do some work in there before we see the orphan, we need to go and get the orphan first whilst we've got the arrow for it. This is one of the most powerful arrows that you can put all 5 into the head of anything, doing about 5,000 damage plus the tick. The only thing that trumps this one is volley ×5 that does 550, but no tick damage. Works out as more. Now, there are several places that she could be in this map. She can be in the barracks. I got that name from Sean, by the way, because I think that's quite fitting. She can be in that fucking mess over there. Most likely, she will be in the cathedral that's at the end. So let's go and check. Now, am I going to go in there to find out if the orphan is in there? Not a fucking chance. Hello, Melissa. I am not going in there to find out if the orphan is in there because I don't need to. I can simply go on top of this roof. And if I can hear her, then that means she's in there. If I can't hear her, then she's not. So we move along and we'll go on top of this roof. And I can't hear her, which means that the only place left that she can be, please be here. Here she is. Oh, not... Oh. 5,000 with the old... with the crossbow, that is. Right. So, hey, wildfire is a good arrow. Wildfire is a very cool arrow when you first get this game because it's normal but on fire. But then you realise the truth. So... what we're going to do now is there are quite a lot of cupids around the place that have been alerted. We need to make sure that none of them have got line of sight on us. And we'll try and deal with what ones are close. Note how close I am getting to them to try and hope that I don't miss my easy shots. But what you can do is just really get back like this. Oh, this is Abyss at the moment we're in. Last section of. So if we get really far away from all of those enemies that we've riled up, then they will despawn. When we go back into the area and they respawn, they are going to go back to their non-aggravated state. So note how any Abyss cupids that were chasing me now won't be. Like, for instance, he was alerted previously. He is now not alerted because we have despawned him by moving back into the part of the level where there is not only distance between me and him, but a lot of enemies. And again, as we know, if we teleport into the pit from here, note how none of the enemies in that area are spawned, and we don't want them to. We just want to be in the pit and gone. So we'll go in the pit from over here because where you teleport into a pit is where you exit. This is a great arrow for this situation. If it works, it worked. And again, with this bit, we're going to try and keep all of our shots close. Wait for that explosion to go off just in case it kills the enemy that you're looking at. Cupid's Wrath is nice. Tempest is always a good arrow because it's very difficult to miss with. Don't think we're going to... That Cupid's Wrath ×3 is no good for a close range orphan shot because not only does it lift them up in the air, but it doesn't hit with its points, it hits with the explosion. So it actually does, I think it only does like 900 damage. Good for this bit though. Takes care of a lot of problems for us. And now what we want to do is fire single arrows until we find something that is capable of one-shotting an orphan. And then I would leave these enemies completely behind and go and find said orphan and come back from them in a minute. Now, this is one of the beauties of... Oh, you little shit! Well, at least I got a volley 5. Let's let her get away and then try again, shall we? And then let's go all the way back and go and finish off these easy enemies. So, always part of the problem with orphans. Never work with animals, children, or indie VR because, you know, it's always an absolute nightmare. So, we're going to kill what we can here. Brilliant. We're going to kill all of the enemies that are around this area up to here because it's killing enemies at this stage of the game that unlocks that final incubi, and killing him is what opens the exit for us to get out. So we're going to just kill enemies. Try and keep the range as close and tight as possible until he unstones himself. Do bear him unstones himself? That wasn't very D&D, was it? Depetrifies? That's probably better. Come on. There are a lot of enemies in the wings here, but you can't fire arrows down there to alert them. So you just have to try and visually alert them as best you can. And if you've killed a lot of the ones that are here and it's still not happening for you, like for instance a shot like that you do not want to be taking, that will take because that's an easy shot. But unless I have homing arrows, don't take that shot. Don't even go out there because you're likely to get hit. I would go up the top here and quickly kill you and you and you and see if he's alive then, which he is. And then I wouldn't even engage him at this point because it's too risky up there. I would go all the way back here and wait. Because as we know, he will always, eventually, teleport to that area. However, there's that little red button in my vision which would say that he might do something completely different. So what do we do in this situation? We pick up the vape and we pick up the drink and we make sure that the enemies can hear us doing these things because that's what encourages them to teleport in. I'm telling you now. Whilst you can hear his fireballs and whilst you can hear his bits and pieces and him making that noise, this is the incubi we're talking about, we know he's activated. It is only a matter of time before he does his little jiggery pokery teleport thing. Make sure he is out of line of sight and he will teleport eventually. Come on, I'm vaping over here, let's go. So that's the noise that he usually makes when he teleports, but idiot over there fucked it up. So, now what you should do is not do what Donny Don't is about to do and wait until he teleports, because it's just less risky. He's not going to move from there. You're going to be able to put a hell of a lot of damage on him very quickly. And yeah, you're going to be able to put a lot of damage on him if he teleports in here very quickly, and you can control the amount of arrows that you fire. But of course he's not going to play ball. So let's get all impatient. Two hands of gods. Note how I fired that divine sight high, and the reason being is so that it comes down on his head. We'll have that health and we'll leave. We are done here. We got the orphan. Now, unlike, again, I think another reason why I like Fletcher is, now we know where the pit is located. Look at this. Where's that? That hand of God is below the level. That's where the abyss pits actually load up, below the level. And it's the same with the pits in Purgatory and probably Desolation as well. But that's why that hand of God bubble is down there, because we cast it down there because that's where the level was. So we have got the orphan in the pit. We've escaped the pit and we're looking at 266,000 points. And that's taken me not very long to get. Am I going to kill anything else? Nope. I'm now just going to leave. And we're just going to literally repeat that process. As the cycles wear on, it is going to get harder. When you get to sort of like cycle 5+, the orphan, if you don't have the right arrow, will sometimes take more than one hit. you also have... Well, I was actually going to... that's... we are all very proud of you, Melissa. Well done. You should find killing Anakin in Fletcher mode very easy now, because you know how to deal with him. And especially in Cycle 1 in Fletcher, you are stupidly powerful. Oh, and hello. I think I said hello, Fee. I'm pretty sure I did. We all remember what it was like to... I remember what it was like to be Melissa. There was a time when I couldn't do Anakin. There was a time when Gabriel absolutely rinsed me. Like, my tactic at one point to deal with Gabriel was Tempests and backing up on the fucking roof. Can you believe? But this is the thing, is they become easier the more and more and more you do them. And... I thought so, Fee, but I do like to make sure. Right, it's getting a bit warm here, you know. Oh, steady. That's another lesson that I've learned. If you are going to adjust clothing, I'm unbuttoning my shirt because it's bloody warm. If you are going to adjust clothing or mess around with like drinks or bits and pieces, and you are in a clear space with Fletcher, put one of your controllers down, because I think we've seen me do it in streams where I've been like getting something out of my back pocket or moving something around, and you accidentally engage the trigger and then let go again and fire an arrow and take a slug of life. It's annoying. The only thing that I would say, Melissa, is as you've seen, by messing around in the boss environments, and just by taking a stroll and taking a walk and getting used to it, it first off gets away, that fear is soon replaced with contempt. And you can do that everywhere and anywhere within this game. Now, as far as old Asmo is concerned, we want a heavy end Cataclysm arrow, and we do not want to fire Divine Sight or Cupid's Wrath at the big guy. The reason being is because they can proper do you over. That will do us. Cupid times 3. Now, I don't usually think that this is a good idea or a good tactic. Again, another reason why I like Fletcher, because we're having to do things differently to the norm. It's almost like the metagame has switched. And so what we've done is we've exploded as many of those pimples as we can in one go. i.e. we've got them all bar one. And then he's done. So again, remember Cupid's Wrath and Divine Sight into the floor. Yeah. Damn. Now, let me show you, because I always say it, and we've got maximum life. So, yes, I will show Gabriel. I will show off how to do Gabriel over easily. So, I'm sure Melissa, I'm sure everyone's seen it plenty of times before, but I can definitely show you. But again, you should just jump in there and fight him without knowing anything about him, and just stroll around the arena and get a flavour and a feel for it before you start looking at the more advanced tactics. In my humble opinion. Now, so I always say, don't use Divine Sight times 3, don't use Cupid's Wrath. Why? Why not use them against these pimples? They home in on them, and they burst them, and the reason being is because they have a nasty tendency, hopefully it'll happen, of homing in on that, and then homing in on the skull, and note how that arrow is going to connect with the skull bang on when it gets to me. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that was a really good example. Well done, Asmo, and your skulls. That is why you don't use Cupid's Wrath and Divine Sights at that first section, because there is a possibility that those bastards will just U-bend and then hit the skull straight away and damage you. So that's why Donnie doesn't do that. Alright, hopefully, Curse is going to do some work here for us. Lovely. Curse, 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 curse. Excellent. Pestilence isn't bad. It's not a bad arrow for cycle 1. The only problem with Pestilence is, like with a lot of the cool looking arrows that do a lot for you. That was good of him, wasn't it? Yeah, we did like that. That curse has done a lot of work. Now, this is a shot that you shouldn't really attempt. You want to be going for headshots. If we break line of sight with that, with the incubi, he will teleport to somewhere else. And usually if we look there, he'll go where we want him. Well, not on that occasion, but that's a bit closer and a bit better. Note how I fired the divine sights right up so that they home down for the headshots. Because we're still in this game for points. If we have to kill them, the only thing that I would say is don't fuck about manipulating the incubus unless you can take him out quickly because of it. Because as you can see, the lava is rising. And yes, thank you very much, Abyss Monk, for being my patsy for the curse. So here we have got the perfect arrow, and the reason being is because I want the arrow to do the work for me. I don't want to have to take shots that there's a chance that I could miss. So he starts up his Hadoken skull, I fire those, they go underneath his armpit and hit his dorsal flange. That means that there's less shots that we have to take to finish it off. And again, we're going to cycle. That will do the job as well. A Cupid's Wrath ×3. Now, he has glitched out here, unfortunately, because he's supposed to start throwing rocks. So we're going to have to destroy that. See if we can cycle Divine Sight ×3 again in this situation, because he's given us the same side. We want to fire those over the top. So that wasn't the perfect way. That is pretty much it, Melissa. If you can manipulate... See, the thing is, what I would concentrate on doing, now that you can get to... Well, when you have Paradise Lost unlocked as a level for you to visit, is I would highly recommend... 2 seconds. Ah! That curse is not going to help us out here, you know. Right, okay, so we're going to have to do this a little bit differently. Normally, I would say, don't kill any of these, just kill the archer, but that is being taken out of our hands right now. Everyone started copying me doing that. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's a great route. So you should. It's, if I think it makes things easier. Right. Cupid's Wrath ×3 is a great one for this. Again, at this point, but it is going to depend on what arrows you use here. Because if you drop a lot of area of effect arrows here, or things like curses, they'll end up doing work. Yeah, Cupids. They're going to end up doing work on enemies for you regardless. Let's see if we can get these to just hit those. No, of course they won't. Ooh, got the right arrow though. Lovely. Work done for us. We don't have to risk any shots. And note how I put the Cupids with the homing shots that I fired out of my line of sight by using this pillar. The reason being is to give them maximum chance of actually hitting the horns. Never seen or heard an orphan in the main game. Oh, maybe you don't have them unlocked then, Melissa. If you complete a level, so literally rooftop hop from one end of the level to the other, and then kill the boss without, I think it's buying anything from the shop, that then unlocks orphans within that level. And that is true of any level, be it Purgatory, Paradise Lost, Abyss, or Desolation. And now we are at Cycle 2, for those of you who don't know what this is. This is... Honestly, Melissa, I thought you were on there already. There's definitely a Melissa on the Facebook page. Yeah, get on the Facebook page. You think I'm a good resource? Woo! Wait until you get on that Facebook page. So, same again. Same again. Well, it's in the achievements, Melissa, the don't kill an orphan. Go and have a read through the achievements and see what you are capable of doing. See what you are have a look through it and see what you are capable of doing, because you'll probably find that there are achievements that you can easily get, won't take you a lot of effort, and may just help you out. Right, Divine Sight ×5, that'll do us. Let's just make sure we're not missing the pit. Oh, there can be a pit because it's right there, because I can see the ghost. Right, we've got a good arrow for getting the orphan, so I'm going to get her first, and then we will return to the pit. Yeah, no, I'm happy to help. Very happy to help. But yeah, have a look through the achievements and see what you are capable of doing on there and doing it, because it will probably help you a lot. Where's that orphan? Right, so we know where the orphan... Again, so because I've done this countless times, mainly in tournaments more than Fletcher, but I've obviously expanded my knowledge by going through Fletcher, I've got pretty good knowledge of where every single orphan is possible to spawn, and also whether, on certain levels, if a pit can even spawn. She can either be there, or she can be out here on these levels. And we don't need to take them out, but it just stops them following us. So that's the orphan dealt with. Now let's go back to the pit. All that nastiness behind us we can just forget about, because it's all despawned, so we don't need to worry. We'll go that way. And we'll go that way. And we'll go that way. And we'll keep going. All the way back to the start. Now, there is the argument that I could have gone into this pit a lot earlier, but I'd already started cycling for a decent arrow, so I might as well have made use of it. That was a faux pas on my side of things. So again, note how I am really far away from where the pit is. I did alert a monk down there, so let's see what he's going to do. He'll probably teleport up. Makes it an easy-ish shot. Now, we know where the pit is. We know the pit is there. We can't see it because too many enemies about and it hasn't spawned in yet. As we get close to it, you will see it is. If we move away, it disappears. The one thing that I can tell you is that unlike enemies, the pit is still there, whether it has rendered in or not, which means that a simple teleport arrow like that will gain us entry to the pit. Bear with me, Melissa, I'll just check that a second. Is it more points to kill the orphan, like in the other modes? It is more points to... Well, it's a decent amount of points to kill the orphan. 25,000 for just killing the orphan alone. Nothing to do with the headshots or the gold that you get off of it for killing it. In the normal game, you get times 2.5 of that in the pits. So I think you get something like 63,500 for an orphan in the pit. It's a good chunk of score, a very good chunk of score. But also what orphans are good for is they're one extra resource for you. Oh, good, immolation. But we are entering here full life. So this is where I would expect to lose life. Now, what I am going to do... 62,500, there you go. So, volley times 3 is not a bad arrow. Let's find that orphan. I'm just checking all of her usual haunts. I haven't heard her yet. Good. I'm glad you've changed your mind. Where is the little bugger? Is she up the top? Yes, she is. Ugh. No! Stand still. Right. Now we go back to where we started. And the reason being is because we've got a lot of dangerous stuff behind us, and we're going to try and weather the storm. Can we get them lined up? Oh, look at that. Perfect. So as you can see, we got a lot of nastiness coming in, but if we take our time with it, because these guys are big targets. Note how I am not going after the headshot. Well, I am a little bit, because I've got lots of life, but I'm just trying to get them dealt with. Again, I could be slow and methodical, but I figure we want to see some progress tonight, right? Terrible behaviour shot that was. Boo! That's why you don't go for headshots. Oh, was that a divine sight? No, I don't think it was. No, but the point is, Sean, I shouldn't be, because it's headshots that lose you life in this in Fletcher mode. It really is. Yep. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you don't need to start doing that yet. It's when you are looking at starting to do stuff like working the room is when you need to learn how to do these enemies methodically. At the moment, you can get away... Oh, you little shit, I did hear you. At the moment, you can get away with doing these enemies the spam method. But there will come a time... There will come a time when that won't be enough. You're a ways away off that, though, Melissa, so you haven't got anything to worry about now. Now, let's just calm this down a little bit and teleport away. So note through that little bit of hecticness, but using, again, if you see these come up when I'm firing, it's because I'm using slow time. And I'll try and make a point of, because I'm resting my arm as I'm playing, but I'll try and make a point of keeping my arm up so you can see just how much I'm using slow time when I'm engaged in combat. In fact, there's not very often that I'm not using slow time. That was a bit of a silly arrow, but that was a very silly arrow. Very, very silly arrow. But again, speed. Hand of Gods are great when you've got a massive plethora. I do believe a swarm of ghosts is called a plethora. No, I made that up. When you've got a huge amount of ghosts tracking you across the level, if you are fighting enemies and get a Hand of God and are doing it in this fashion, which I wouldn't recommend at later cycles either, but if you do get a Hand of God, sticking that into something and then turning around and facing the ghost swarm is a very good idea. Because it just, you know, Hand of God makes one of the harder to deal with enemies, especially in swarms, a much easier prospect. I didn't even get the headshot. So now we are just trying to finish things up to get the level. See, these are the shots that you shouldn't go for. That is a classic example. Yeah, red monks. Red monks are hard. White, so. And there we go. So you can see I am now spunking goldenly all over the place. Time to leave. I'll get rid of him because he's on my tail. I'm going to try and line myself up. Bear in mind as well, we want to get the health before we leave. So I will line myself up to grab the health from over here where I am safe. And now I will exit, because I now don't have to worry about trying to grab the health whilst diving past enemies, I can literally just aim for the pit and out. Yeah, definitely be part of the Facebook group. So, now, we have lost a bit of life, but that's not too bad. That is where I accommodate for losing the vast majority of my life. You'll note how when I start getting to harder cycles, I will slow the hell down. I'm just doing it quickly because I can kind of get away with it at these cycles, especially with the fact that there is more life going now. But you can see how if I now killed a few enemies here just to see if I can get one more, you know, a few more headshots without losing too much life. One miss followed by another and a hit from an enemy because you've put yourself into an awkward situation then means that you are on a slow track to hell, in that your life, you're not replenishing the life that you are losing. You want to try and come through as many levels as you can at a plus, as in you have gained more life than you have lost. If you're playing it, you need to look at that on the lines of Cat's a good arrow to start Anakin with if we're going to spam him, if we're going to burn him down. I look at it along the lines of I want to complete a cycle at a plus. So if I start a cycle at full life, I want to be finishing a cycle at full life. Now, that was very hard to do previously, but it's a lot easier to do now that there is a lot of more life on the board through a cycle. So, the thing is, Melissa, he's not wrong. It is like a fucking competition on the Facebook group. No, I can help. Look at me, I can help. No, I'm helping her first. But hey, I'd much rather that than anything else, than any other way. Go for the one that's big. Ooh, Hand of God, that's good. We do want to be going for our headshots here, where we can, but we also want to be careful with the rate of fire that we're putting into old Annie Bobs, because he can just drop over at any time. Ugh. This isn't going so well. Not doing very well on the old... Ow! Good shot. Right, so, again, so that's burning him down. As you can see, it takes... I could fire a lot faster, but you then risk either getting out... You want to aim high when you are burning Anakin down as well, and it's all to accommodate for holy lights. You want to be aiming towards the head, because you want headshots to stagger him. Hand of God is specifically... very good in that situation when you are burning him down. But I think with the bow, when you get to cycle 3, maybe cycle 3, definitely cycle 4, burning him down you can't do quick enough and safely enough. Odds didn't work out for us too well there. But I would expect to lose maybe 1 life going through Paradise Lost. So we're getting back up to that full health situation that I keep talking about. Now, we want to be cycling our arrows here from the get-go, because the only thing that we have to do in Paradise Lost, the only thing that we have to worry about, is the orphan. So we're going to find enemies that are on the way, that are reasonably easy shots. Cataclysm 5 has got a lot of points. Get out of the way! Layabout has got a lot of points on it, and it has the benefit of being explosive damage as well. So it should, at cycle 2, easily... Well done, Melissa. Where's that orphan? Where's she at? Let's have a look down here first. See if we can locate the orphan via sound. Haven't heard her yet. Now I can hear her. Ooh. Is that below? That's below. What's he doing down here? And we're gone. Oh, that's a bad arrow. That's a better one. And duck. And leave. Right, Melissa, watch. This is Gabriel. Easy. Well, easy-ish anyway. First couple of cycles. So first and foremost, when you come into the arena, look up and use your slow time to slow things down. If you look up, you can see where Gabriel comes in. Note how much I'm using slow time here, and I'm pressing it and holding it and reapplying it to keep the slow time going. There he is, look. So we can see where he is, and now there's this big pillar of light that shows exactly where he's going to drop. We want to push him off to the right-hand side of the level as we enter it, which means that we want to be here. And note how Gabriel will always move away from us to get to his perfect distance to attack. He will also have a curse of God. He will also move towards us to get to this perfect range. Literally all we do is we get close enough to him and he'll back all the way up over there. And he'll just stay there because he's his perfect range to attack us. When he fires fireballs, we retreat round the pillar and shield up. And go to the opposite side. And what we're looking to do here is we're looking to keep this pillar obscuring our vision. And the reason being is because if you obscure the vision, he has to move into a place where he can see you. Or where he's basically, Melissa, Gabriel not only needs a sandwich at all times, but he is a massive attention seeker. Note how he needs us looking for him to get validation. I think it's because of the nappy. So if we keep the pillar in part of our view and then move to the other side, and I shield up as a precaution, but you need to put the shield very far in front of you to block the fireballs. Hello, weebs. Now, eventually, he will dive down. You could be shooting him with your arrows at this point and doing a lot of damage to him. There's actually a technique that you can do where you would go shot, 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 move to the other side, shot, 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 move to the other side, shot, 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 move to the other side, shot, 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 and note how he cannot attack. That takes a bit of practice to be able to get that off, and it's not great for getting headshots, which is kind of what you want. You can block this fireball in the game. Can't block the incubi ones. Two, three. So we wait for him to dive down, and we just basically put a bit of damage in him, and then let him fuck off again, and then repeat the process. If you block the fireball like that, it will hit the shield, explode, and damage you because it's an explosive fireball. But if you put the shield right out in front of you, the explosive radius of the arrow does not hit you. 2, Divine Sight can go there, Keeper's Wrath can go there, because that's all homing. And again, when he starts getting far enough away, because we're in Fletcher, we stop firing. Ooh, sneaky one. And note how I look all the way away. His sword will flash through the pillar, but it can't hit you. The one thing that you'll see me doing when he does his sword strikes, is I look away from him. If you can see the whites of his eyes, he can hit you with the sword. So look, I like 90-degree away from him and look away, because he can still hit you with his sword sometimes. Good job, that was a Divine Sight. He can still hit you with this sword sometimes through the pillar. I usually go of a general rule of if you can see his eyes, if he basically has line of sight on you, he can hit you. So make sure he hasn't. And there you go, Gabriel. in a, well, I'd say nutshell, but a nutshell usually means quite a quick and rapid description. So, I don't know what, the silver nutshell? Because we know they're long. Come on, come on. In. Damn! Ah, well. Can't even win at my own little game that I play. So, that is cycle 2 of Paradise Lost Orphan down. We're now going to go into Abyss. We're going to kill the orphan here. And now that is a good point, actually. The reason why we stop him being on the level and push him off the side is because he has a third attack that we don't want to see. And that is a sword plunge where he dives down with his sword. If he hits the ground with that attack, it not only produces a massive area of damage that you again have to be out of his line of sight to avoid, and it can hit you pretty much anywhere on the fucking level, but it also has a delayed summon of minions, and he can do it infinitely as well. At higher cycles, he can, and he doesn't just summon minions. Oh, no. He summons Cupids and Banshees, and they are a horrible combination to deal with, especially when you're trying to dodge away from his shit and other bits and pieces. Right, volley 3 will do us as an arrow. Hoping to cycle to something different. The orphan can be there. Well, this is why... Oh, she is there. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry about score yet. Ow! Got tagged getting the orphan, but that's not too bad. Right, no pits there. There is the possibility that the pit can be in this underground section, and the easiest way for us to go and find out is to do it this way, I've found. Jump across to here, dive down to here, get into this corner, have a check. Yep, I can see the pit. Get into this corner and start letting the enemies that are now going to come down this stairwell one at a time. Be careful of the effects that you will drop. If you can, get your headshots. It's all extra points. Like, gotta wait for those. Oh yeah, always. It's the first thing that you should do before you even worry about anything. Points-wise. Or even progress-wise. That get you all? Yes, it did. Even progress-wise, i.e. how far you can get into the game, there is no point doing that. And, like, you know, beating the bosses is great and being able to complete a cycle is great, but you are selling yourself short if your character, if you are not at your most powerful. There are a lot of achievements that add to your power through either additional arrows, more powerful arrows, increased headshot damage, increased distance damage, and there's also a lot of achievements that go toward increased scoring as well. So there's lots of reasons to make sure that you get 100%. Great home and arrow, that one. There we go. And don't try and jump into that until that has disappeared. Otherwise you can get hit. So, but yeah, you want to be getting achievements. Now, there is a lot of naysayers out there that will say, no, you don't need 100% completed profile to be able to... Yes, they massively help. In a minute, I'll save and I will show you all the bits and pieces. Like... He's speaking my language now, Sean. I'm sure I've said that at some point in the past. But he's quite right. He is quite right. Sean is my protege. He's got better by making sure he's 100% completed. So, exactly as Sean says. So, the one thing that I would say for anybody who disagrees with that advice, I'd like to think it's because you've already gone through the game and 100%ed it once. You only really need to 100% the game once, but if you're going to do it again, you might as well, just for completion's sake. There's two reasons. The reason why I say you don't have to do it a second time is you only need things like Hand of God, Winter's Bite fully upgraded, Volley ×5, anything that gives you more life, anything that gives you more armor, things that give you percentage increases in life gains, and so on, and things like orphans and headshot damage and distance damage. Like, for instance, we don't need Divine Sight ×1, ×3, ×5. We don't need Cupid's Wrath ×3. You don't need Pestilence. There's lots of arrows that you don't need. There is the argument. Good evening, Mr. Vega. Pit of Agony. I knew that was coming up, and I'll explain why in a minute. There is an argument that if you had a profile that didn't have all of those things unlocked, no, you cannot be hurt by your own arrow effects. Not at all. There is an argument that a profile that doesn't have everything unlocked would be better than a profile that does. Basically, a profile that is targeted, because when the game is selecting what arrow you get dropped, or whether it's health or armor, or what appears in the shop, it can only go off of the arrows that you have available. So if you don't have it, there's less of a pool, and if there's less of a pool, there's more chance of you getting the arrows that you want. But the thing is, I don't think that that's the correct way to play the game, because there are lots of arrows that you wouldn't want, but you'll end up getting just through play. Fuck you, that lightning never travels that far. Like a fucking bug zapper. So, what I was going to say about Agony, because we are still in the same play session, and I haven't saved and quit the game or rested in Sanctuary, the way that the pits work in this game is it will play through a cycle. So, for instance, so far we've had Pit of Immolation, and I think it was Pit of Perdition. So the next pit, when we go to cycle 3 in Purgatory, that's who I was waiting for, should be Reformation, because it goes through the cycle. The same is true of Abyss. Because we got Despair in the first one, which is actually the pit that we want, because we're just here to kill the Orphan and get out quick, and the Orphan in Agony is difficult. Agony is the level that we normally want from Abyss, because there's more points on the table and there are a lot more resources available in this level than others in the main game. But in this style of Fletcher, we want Despair, because we want to be in, we want to kill the Orphan, and we want to leave. Thank you, Fee. That's awesome. I couldn't remember. Yeah. So Perdition should be... hang on. Did I read that right? Did I hear that right? Reformation. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you, Fee. So that wasn't that I get them mixed up. That's, my memory's terrible, so thank you very much. Perdition will be the next pit that we'll get, and then it goes back to a random order. One more? Ooh, lovely. Right, Volley ×5. This is what we want. Now what we're going to do is we're going to jump straight... This is why this level is hard, because we're here to get her, and now we've got to escape. And this can be a nasty escape. Note how the bounds are short, so that my position is constantly changing. Note how the tracking is shit. Right, and we come back here and we wait. Because there are knights on our tail. We're going to use a little bit of cornering to take them out easily. There are these guys on our tail also, and they may teleport in, and there's also Cupids that may do the same. Note how I looked there to get, and it gave him somewhere to teleport, and I looked back, and they're doing it again now. Whew. Feisty. How many Black Knights did I alert? There are a lot of achievements. There are a lot of achievements that require you to go into the pits, Melissa, unfortunately. Some of the best ones require you to go into the pits. I think some of the very best achievements in this game are the ones that require you to go into the pits and do the pit completely without taking any damage, because it's those ones that will increase your life. As in, you get an extra bar of health. Because if you haven't got many achievements, you're probably at the starting 6 blocks of life I think you start out with in the game. And the more blocks of life you have, the more mistakes you can make. Yes, definitely. As Fee said, it's better to start attempting pits sooner rather than later, because another thing to remember, Melissa, is we think the further percentage you get in the game, we don't know exactly what it's related to, but it's related to one of two things. Either high percentage or you unlocking the new enemies of the games. Because it's either, well, again, we don't know for certain, but it's either the percentage unlocked of the game. So when you get to about 95%, then you would have the maximum population that you can have across all levels and pits. But we don't know if it's that or unlocking all the extra nasty enemies. And yes, the more enemies there are down there, the harder it is. Now, this guy, I don't want to mess around with. This guy, I am going to have a drink of water. I am going to have a wait. And I'm going to wait for him to teleport right there. And I'm going to hold that slow motion button. Definitely a bad way round. Definitely a bad way round to do it. It's actually part of the reason why a lot of people that I've come across who have started the game off get too many achievements and make the game too hard for themselves and kind of produce that brick wall, so they then go back to a 0% profile and start again and find that they can get further because of it. Ah, pits are easy. Learn slow time, and then everything becomes a doddle in this game. Learn how to use slow time like I'm using it. Just as I literally hit the button on my vape, in he comes. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk it? Right, have a cataclysm for your troubles. I'm going up here. There we go. He's dead now, which means that the pit exit is open, which means we can leave. There is one last thing to stop us. Now, you could go up and round the right and then curve round. We'll have that first, and we'll have that first. If we teleport over him, there is the chance that you can get hit by his aura. Ugh. I missed that shot, believe it or not. I thought that hit, but it must have gone between the folds of his skirt. So now that he's dead and his little pentagram on the floor is gone, we can now teleport along this line. I could fight them if I wanted to, but I'm going to leave. Thank you very much. Good night. Because I don't want to fight anything that I don't have to. Oh, what, as far as you've forgotten how to use... Okay, the best way to use slow time is... So we know what the slow time button is. We know that the button that you press, I'm currently using X, but you can also use Y, is the button that you use to bring up your quiver. Again, this is in Fletcher, so it's a little bit different. And that was a summoner. Yes, that guy's basically a different kind of monk, I suppose, with an aura, and he summons things. He doesn't move, though, so don't worry too much about him. You got all this to look forward to, Melissa. Aren't you a lucky girl? So, Basically, what I would advise is when you are not drawing an arrow and firing, you should be holding down the slow time button. Note how if I am holding down the slow time button, it puts the enemies into slow time. If I keep holding it for longer than 5 seconds, it doesn't matter. They then go back into normal time. So what you want to do... Woof. What you want to do is press, hold for a couple of seconds, press, hold for a couple of seconds, release, press, hold for a couple of seconds, and keep doing that to keep the game in basically constant slow time. When you, and note as well, you cannot put the game, you cannot quiver select whilst you are drawing. You can't do it, so you can't use slow time whilst you are in the draw. It's another reason why the crossbow is a very good weapon to learn this game on, because you can load the crossbow, put the game into slow time, and aim at the enemy, and then let go of slow time and shoot, and then reapply the slow time. So I've got a video that tells you why the crossbow is the best weapon to play. No, that's... Yes. Yep. And you want to be manipulating that. The better you can get at manipulating that, the better. Oh, you only use the crossbow. Okay. So as far as the crossbow's concerned, there is no difference other than the fact that it is very difficult to rapid fire the crossbow. So if you're not rapid firing the crossbow, then you have no excuse. You can slow time with the bow just as easily as you can. You can slow time with the crossbow just as easily as you can with the bow. Now, have we got the orphan here? My memory is shocking. I don't think we have. Let's cycle arrows anyway. Worst enemy to cycle an arrow on ever. Divine Sight ×3, that'll do. Because she doesn't take a lot of damage at the moment. Orphan is either going to be... It's probably going to be over here. It's the way to learn the game. But again, I would highly recommend trying the bow at some point in the future. Unless you've got something that prevents you doing so. In which case, tell me to shut up. But again, learning both is key. I'm not hearing any orphans. Which means she must be down there, or I've already killed her. I can't remember. Honestly, can't remember. Hopefully she's in here. I mean... Shit. Can't remember. I don't think I have. She wasn't there. She can be over here. Now this is why you should have a better memory than I am, because this is risky now. I'm having to go back into a level where I've misplaced and displaced enemies all over the show, and this is all because I can't remember whether I got the orphan or not. But I'm going to go back and check anyway. But note all this risk that I'm taking just for 25,000 points. And I've probably already got her, I just couldn't remember. I went into the pit first. This is why you should make a point of looking for the orphan. Right. Yeah, stay with the crossbow for a while, because you can learn to play the game with the crossbow a lot better, because the crossbow is a short-ranged weapon, which is the range that you should be engaging at, and it is a short-ranged weapon because it does more damage at short range. The bow does more damage at long range, so it is the sniper's weapon. I bet I know where she is. She's in here. We've got Divine Sight. Yes, we have. Okay, let's check. I reckon she's in here because we haven't seen her up until this point. So that takes care of those quite nicely. Where did you go? I have no idea where he is. Let's just... I'm sure I would... If she was in here by now, I would have heard her. Let's just go back a second. Did I not go around this way? I don't think I did. Oops. Oh, it is. But that's just the way it's supposed to be played. But then does it... Oh, no. We did get the orphan on this one, because I killed her over here, didn't I? I'm sure I did. Did I kill the orphan here? I'm sure I killed the orphan here, but was that the... Yeah, because the skeleton's there, and he shouldn't be there. God, my memory is shocking. Right, anyway, so... That is the importance of why you should remember what you've done within a level. Because if you forget... then you have to go back and you have to risk yourself and put yourself back into a situation that you do not need to be in, which is silly. I can't help myself now. I've got to go and check one last place just in case I'm wrong with that. Ooh, he flew. And look at all of this. I shouldn't need to take any of these shots because all I had to do was remember some simple information. Let's have a quick look up here. She would normally be here if she's here, which she's not. No, I'm pretty sure I've done it. I'm gone. Thing is, I should be able to tell by the score at this point. On average... Oh, I do use the crossbow. Now, I can use both. As it happens, Melissa, I have a very good video on why I think the crossbow is the best weapon to start the game with. Go and have a look for that one. What is it? It's called Generation Expo. See what I did there? I'm not very witty, unfortunately. But it did the job. But that's all about why the crossbow is the best way to start playing this game. And then it's also part of the... It's part of the way to mastery. It'll give you a lot of tips and tricks as to how to play the game with the crossbow, I think. So, but then this is the thing as well, is I think I do prefer playing with the bow, and I think it's because I am better with the bow than I am with the crossbow, but that's because I spend a lot more time with the bow. The other reason as well is I do like to play Siege of Heaven, and so my bow game needs to be better than my crossbow game to be able to do well at Siege of Heaven. And then the reverse, excuse me. And then the reverse of that is also true. Right, let me have a look at the old battery, because I don't know how long we've been going. Long enough to change, I think. Let's have a look. 2 bar. That's held out quite nicely. Well done, battery. Excellent work. Cool. Time flies when you're having fun. Now then. Let's get old Asmo finished up. And then what I will do is... I think I'll have a little break and I'm going to go through some of the achievements that you should definitely be gunning for. Just for you, Melissa. Because then that gives me a little rest. Not that I need it too much, but... I was playing a lot of Ancient Dungeon this morning and that is very crossbow intensive. So, again, cycle, 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 cycle. Come on. There, nope. Floor. Cycle, cycle. There we go. That's what we want. And I will aim it crosswise. So it takes all of those out. Let them close in so that they are touching me. And then I move away. It's the whole process of them getting close to you and touching you which sets off their timer. Do know that you can only get away with doing that if you have their delay at maximum, and there is an achievement to increase that delay. So you do need to make sure that you've got that unlocked before you attempt to take these skulls on, because look how long they take to blow up. Ages. Just shard out of the way. But you need to make sure that they kind of touch you before you do so. One for you, and one for you, and that for there, and that for there. Ugh, Winter's Bite. I always try and take these... terrible shot. Always try and take those out as a priority. That's where I budget for losing life. as we just saw there. Shouldn't be losing life on any other bits on this. And again, no, I'm trying to keep... trying to keep the range short. Yep, that's fine. That's what I'm here for. Oh, nice one. Thank you. Thanks, Weeps. Most appreciated. It's interesting, actually, if you're... Obviously, I know you subscribe to the channel, and I know you watch a lot of videos, but it's interesting that that one hasn't come up for you. So... Because YouTube's usually pretty good at serving people the videos that they need to see, and I know that one's helped a lot of people out on the crossbow side of things, and people that are new to the game as well. The reason why a lot of people don't use the crossbow is there used to be, when I started playing this game, a lot of stigma around the crossbow and how it's cheating, and it's like, yeah, fuck off. It's not. It's just a different way to play the game. Is it easier to play the game with the crossbow? Fucking hell yeah. Is it a noob weapon? A little bit to begin with, but you can actually score higher on the crossbow than you can on the bow. And at the higher levels, I'd go as far as to say it is harder to use than the bow. So, let's cycle these arrows a second. We've got time. Got a little bit of time. Okay, we're going to have to kill that now. Come on, still cycling. There we go, Divine Sight. Got what we wanted. And then that goes up there, and we'll... No. And that's why you want to either hit the Hadoken skull and let the homing arrow do the work for you, because that's quite a long shot to take. Again, we'll do some more cycling here to try and get a decent arrow. Divine Sight ×3 will do. And then for this part, we vogue. We move our hand from left to right or right to left and spam the shard button. Keep pressing it so that we dodge left and right. Lovely. Hello, Fitz. How we doing, mate? So, I jump onto here for... I just find it easier, because we're then... It saves you having to... The problem with this next bit is when these pillars are coming down, when are they solid? When can you shoot get your teleport arrow onto them? Is it now? Is it now? Is it now? Whereas here... These ones come down straight away, which means we can get straight up here before the enemies. That could be me. Honestly, Melissa, that could be me that you're talking about. Oh, nice one, Fitz. Right, so... We want to kill this guy, and that guy only, and then we run. Then we run. The only other two big content creators, and I don't think either of them have put me to sleep, would be good old Rico and the guy who would have been the Monk Hunter, but he changes his channel name all the time, so I can't remember what he is now. Well, you know, it's been said before. I could bore people to death. Come on now. This guy. Oh, that'll be Weeble then. Sorry, Weebs. It's an easy one. Definitely fire those off. That'll be Rico. Rico at 50. Weebs doesn't do his own videos yet. Weebs will be on it soon though, won't you, Weebs? There we go. So, life, life, life. And note how we got a double there as well. And score check. We are now... This is the same run that I started with. We've been going for under than 2 hours, so we're at 1 hour 50 minutes. So if you are capable of getting through the first 2 cycles just by killing the orphans, getting out of the pits and doing the good stuff, you should be able to get to where I am at the moment. And then every cycle that you can add on to this, you can get another 250 to 300,000 points. Now I know that that doesn't sound like a lot, but if we now go and rest in Sanctuary, because I don't mind too much about messing out the orders of... Well, the thing is, Sean, some people don't... He's happy to stream to the level that he streams at. I know, right? I know. You should see my arm, mate. Oh, it's a shame you're not coming to Pico headquarters. My left arm is fucking amazing. I should be arm wrestling. So, there we go. Yeah, no, that's the guy. That's the guy. No, hey, you can learn a lot from Rico. His slow game is good. His sharding is very good. His sharding is better than mine. I mean, mine's got a bit better because my tracking's got a bit better because of various things. Talking about tracking, it's all of a sudden starting to go a bit shit. Right. So, we have been playing for 1 hour and 50 minutes. Now, I know we haven't got the top scores up here yet, but, well, Keith's playing, obviously. And Mike's there as well. But look how, we've got 500,000 points. We're on the top board. And all I've done is killed all the orphans in Cycle 1 and all the orphans in Cycle 2. And you know what? I don't think the leaderboard will change that much either. He might. Yes. Yeah, the old Cataclysm spam. But then this is the thing, is there's some people that want to play the game to the level that he plays it at. And there's some people that want to play the game to the level that I want to play it at. And there's all sorts of players that do all sorts of bits and bobs. What's that, Indy? Yeah, give him a free key. Give him a free key. Right, so, again, same again. Let's go get that orphan. Let's get in that pit. Let's get out of that pit. Let's see how much more we can add on to our score. Shall we? Or is that you doing a stream where you're giving free keys away? You've had plenty of the good stuff already, Weebs. You've had more than your fair share. Now, there can't be a pit. So one of the things to note, and this is another thing as well, there cannot be, or I've never seen, a pit on that configuration. And it is quite an easy to spot configuration. What I mean by configuration is that there are only a certain amount of configurations within the game. Although the game says that it is procedurally generated, it technically is, in that the levels that are dropped in, or the sections that are dropped in, Oh, hang on. No, that's in... Well, this is something to... This is a mode to try at a much later date. Yeah, sorry, I probably haven't allowed... Or I think putting links into chat is disabled as standard, so I just probably haven't changed it. So what I was saying with the configurations, because I've been banging on about this on the Pico streams that I've been doing in the mornings, and the configurations, there's only a certain number of them, and the more you play the game, the less random it will become, and the more you'll start recognizing certain configurations. Then you start recognizing the enemy placements, and that's when you start seeing patterns emerging where orphans are and where pits are. Yeah, if I miss a shot now, Melissa, I will take a point of damage. There are two exceptions to that rule. They are Cupid's Wrath. Doesn't matter if that hits or not. And Divine Sight. Doesn't matter if that misses. But so basically, the 2 homing arrows in the game. Yeah, every single thing that I've done in Fletcher, the whole point is don't miss. Yeah. So, again, we're going into that pit. We don't want to take on any of the enemies that are there. We'll do it from over here. I can attest to that information. Indie VR. We got... Yeah, this is Perdition. So it has followed the cycle, even though we've rested. Anyway, right, so I can hear an orphan. And I believe it is below us. That's not a bad arrow. It's not a great arrow to deal, though. Let's kill that. Very good, Indy. Very good. And forever shall it be. Now, chat. Now. Right. Now, we've got to be careful here with all of these effects that we're putting down, because we can hear the orphan. She could be affected by them, and then that will mean that she will run. So let's get down and see what she's doing. Plant her with one of those. Perfect arrow. If she doesn't teleport away. Where's she gone? Over there. Uh-oh. Now, note how she was leaving, but because I got close enough to her, it resets her leaving, and we get to kill her and still get the points from her. Just be aware of that. Ooh. There we go, and there we go. Ooh, fireball, and away. Away. Now let's get back here, and let's calm things down a little bit, because that is getting a bit hectic. We are still on full life, but it's these things that I say that are very much famous last words. Yeah, Indy's promised me that he's going to come looking all respectable. So no fucking clown shoes this time, Indy, for fuck's sake. It's a respectable meeting. So let's try and finish up. Tracking! Tracking! Stop it! Gonna have to sort that out in a minute. Hopefully. What are you trying to hit? Can't be me. Right. What's going on there? What's causing those tracking issues? Let's try one of them. See if that helps out. So. God. Come on now. Tracking issues are the worst on Fletcher. Why is that jumping my height? Don't try. Don't judge a clown by his shoes. No, you are quite right. Tempests do not work on ghosts. However, the reason being is, again, it's the same reason why Cupid's Wrath don't work on ghosts as well, because both arrows do not have a point, and so because they haven't got a point, they can't stick in to a ghost's weak point, and that's why you can't finish them. So, but Tempests, I think Tempests stagger them potentially, but firing that Cupid's Wrath will go through it. Let's see if I can get a Tempest here. I can't remember. Does it stagger? It counts. I know if you fire a Tempest through, it counts as a hit. And it does stagger them slightly. But no, you're quite right, Weebs. Well, you're not supposed to be able to kill ghosts with Tempests, but if you are incredibly close, I've seen it once. Oh, yeah. I am full of them. I am full of excuses. We load up on excuses on this channel here before we start. That's the way. This is the way. It's all about the excuses. If you haven't got excuses for poor play, what have you got? You know? And I learned from some of the best as well, Indy. You can take the stage from here. See, the problem that I know Mac has, Chewy maybe not so much, and I know the problem that Weebs and Indie VR are going to have with meeting me in person at Pico is I'm just like this in real life. I'm not one of these hyper-exaggerated YouTubers that doesn't give it all the beans when I'm not in, you know, when I don't have the anonymity of the interwebs. You are gonna fucking love me. So for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, me and I say select clientele, but Beanie's coming, are going up to Pico headquarters again to go and see the good people there. Yeah, God help him indeed, you are not wrong. That's what slow motion will do for you. Slow motion means that you don't... Like, look how freaked out I'm getting by the crowds. And I don't have to because I'm in slow motion. Bear in mind as well, we're at cycle 3. So things are starting to get fast and accurate at this point. Oh, why did you go and do that? Stupid thing. Well, it's even very good for dodging arrows. You can just put the game into slow motion and move your head. Well, few exceptions. But... And note how as well I can plan my shots and plan my decisions because of how much I'm using slow time. Using slow time with anything is key within this game. Learning slow time will help you with everything. It will help you with every boss. It will help you with every shot. It will help you in every mode except Paradise. Yeah, definitely. You can go one better than earplugs, by the way, Weebs. You can get noise cancelling headphones so you can have some music playing or some actually decent dialogue whilst you're watching my gums flap. So... Oh, come on, tracking. Behave. There we go. So, yeah, we're all a select lot of us that are all Pico players. So, me and Mac and Shuey and Indy and Beanie and even Weebs. And who else? Oh, and me. And me as well. We're all going up to Pico headquarters to give them lots and lots of lovely, lovely feedback about their lovely, lovely Pico video platform. Or at least that's the plan. So, I've just basically... And I'm organising it. They got me to organise it. Oh, ouch. They got me to organise it. And... I'm basically turning it into a bit of an impromptu get-together for all of us lot. So... Yeah, it's the one thing that I would say as well as far as the Pico's concerned, because I know Melissa said that in the comments before. My like cut and thrust to the argument of it is the Pico is a better headset. if you are not invested in the Quest ecosystem. If you've got a lot of games on the Quest, it's very difficult. Very difficult. I am trying. It's the fact of the matter is they can't release in the US. Well, I think we all know why. Very political, if you ask me. But yeah, old Zuck doesn't want the competition and he's calling in the heavy hitters. So he's able to stop Pico getting into the US for now. And every month that he does it is more money in his pocket. He's able to stop doing it for now because of circumstances with TikTok. Right, there's our other orphan. But again, the one thing that I will say is I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know how much is within that, so I probably shouldn't really say sweeping statements like that until I've done my research. But it seems plausible, does it not, that Facebook would want to stop their competition through political means because they're not allowed to do it by law because of the monopoly laws as far as the states are concerned. As I understand, mate, you should... Weeble. Is that Weeble jumping in now? You're sounding like me in indie streams. Good one, Weebs. Right, so I should be able to spam Anakim at this point. However, I'm still practicing my Fletcher technique on Anakim, and what I've come up with so far is something that I might try and apply to the main game. Again, some of you may have seen this. It's nothing mind-blowing, but I will try and show it off. First things first, I want an arrow that I can hit Anakin with, do a little bit of damage, and not miss. Divine Sight is a good one. I'm lucky to actually have that. As soon as he turns, now he can take damage. We fire an arrow at him. He takes his damage. That spawns our first set of monks. We're going to destroy them as quickly as possible. Yeah, unfortunately, Fitz can't make it, I don't think. The window is still open, Fitz, if that was to change. Possibly. We shall see. But I know what you said. Right, so... We now need to get the next wave of enemies to spawn. Whenever you're ready. Oh, nice headshot there. You're not going to spawn? Come on now. Surely we've done enough. Have a winter's bite. There we go. So again, we're concerned about the kill, not so much the headshot. But if we can get headshots here, happy days. Now we're going the other way. Oh, right. No, because we've started... It's cycle play, this is. So when you've completed one cycle, you start again. Yes, you do. So what I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to try and lure him all around the houses. So I want to get him to come to this corner, and I'm doing it by tucking myself right tight into the corner. That lightning ball might set his next wave off. We shall see. Now we're going to go over here. Yeah, this game never ends. It just gets harder. And we just go through Purgatory, Paradise Lost, Abyss, and then it all starts over again. This is how people are able to get millions upon millions upon millions of score. So we want him ideally... Oh, we could kill a load of these as well whilst we're at it. I mean, it's not really that much points, but why not, eh? Ah, get off. Right, so. I'm going to go off into this corner. Hello. We don't need to worry too much about the knights. We've got so much firepower. Doesn't really matter. And then what we ideally want is we want him to come down here. I can usually do this a bit tidier than this, but I'm a little bit out of practice, if I'm honest. And I'm still pissing around a little bit as well. Remember those excuses I was talking about loading up? So now that we've got him coming down this channel, I'm going to try and kill some enemies here. It's only cycle 3, mate, so I'm just demonstrating what I would do at higher cycles. You going to die? Thank you. And then we'll go over to here. And where I like to sit for this spam is here. And I'm going to wait for him to go all the way across. Now, you'll hear that monks have teleported in behind me. They can't teleport in front of me in my field of view because I've killed the ones that would spawn in those arches on purpose. So I will now stand here with this to my left to protect me and keep things out of my field of view on the left. I would wait for him to come round here, and the spam begins here. Note how there are a lot of enemies, there are a lot of archers behind me. There are 4, but none of them have shot at me. They have just teleported into my field of view. And the reason being is because I don't think they're allowed to shoot at me when they are outside of my field of view. And now the killing begins. Now we spam the arrows. Hopefully we'll get a Hand of God. Again, note how nothing has fired at me from behind at the moment. Nothing has shot me in the back because I'm not looking at it. If I was to turn around now... Oh, look. Hello, monks. Now they can shoot at me. Note how I just took an arrow in the back because I acknowledged their presence. That was close. So this is the kind of technique that I've been developing. You want to get him to low enough life when you get him at this stage, and you then want to absolutely smash him there. And sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll get the Hand of God that will freeze him in place and slow him down, and sometimes you'll get the Winter's Bite, other times you won't. But ultimately you have to be accurate with your shot, and you want to be aiming towards the head at this distance just in case you pull a holy light. Very sneaky monks. But again, note how they weren't able to shoot me because they teleported in, and because I hadn't looked at them and acknowledged their presence, they weren't allowed to shoot me in the back, because that's how this game is designed. What they can do is teleport into my field of view, very much like the teleport trap video that I've done and shown off. And I reckon you might be able to use that in the main game, but I think these are my icebreakers at parties, Melissa. This is how I get conversations started with people that don't play IDU or VR. Right, that'll do us. ×5. Cataclysm. And that didn't go. Right, let's kill you so that we've got nothing shooting at us. And let's try that again, shall we? Any danger? There we go. If you do get across the first part... as you can tell, Melissa, I am very much in with the ladies when the IDU tips start spilling out. So, if you can get through that first section of IDU, of Paradise Lost, and you've alerted a lot of things and a lot of things are on your tail, do not be afraid to jump into the circle and rest in Sanctuary. It will reset and replace all of the enemies back into their original spawning locations and de-aggro them. So, for instance... this is a pretty deadly game to play, isn't it? If I was managed to get one of these guys to teleport over onto this island and then saved and quit, when I come back into the game, they'll have gone back to where they originally started. I'm not going to demonstrate that because I don't really want to lose the life that will entail. Now, this orphan is a prick to get on this particular setup because there's lots of nasty places that she can be. Well, that's... Alright. I always wondered if you could do a D&D class that would have a teleporting arrow ranger style thing. I think that'd be quite a cool class to play. Bit broken mind. You'd forever find me slipping teleport arrows through fucking locks in doors so that I could get to the other side. But again, these are the exploits that we do in D&D. Lockpick success chance? Nah, mate, I'll just slip my shard under the door. D&D jokes, eh? Ha! Yeah, be a little bit too powerful. Right. So, again, Gabriel. Let's do Gabriel again. So, again, we look up using slow time. We see where he is. We do not want to push him off to the left-hand side of the level for the simple reason that there is a pillar or two that he can actually do his plunging strike onto. We always want to push him off to the right of the level as you come into it. So this way. And look, I'm close to him. He moves away. Close, moves away. Close, moves away. And as long as I'm close to him, he moves away. If I get far away from him... Oh, shit. Close moves away. If I get far away from him, he will come to me. But if I get close to him, he has to retreat. And the reason being is because he is constantly looking. Don't dick around doing that, though, because he can do his plunging strike whilst he's trying to get the perfect range. This is the other reason why we don't want him doing his plunging strike. He can do his plunging strike at any fucking range. He just needs to be over land. So this is why we keep him away from land so that he can't do his plunging strike. Of course, he's going to do fireballs. That shield up is a last resort. Let me see if I can block one. Hear that? Clang. Blocked. So I blocked it, and because my shield was far enough out, it got blocked. Do not try and block his fireballs as a strategy. You will get hit. Nice. Dragon form sounds like my kind of D&D adventure. So let's let him come round the corner, and then carry on. Be careful of your explosive arrows when they explode, pushing him all over the show. You can be aiming at him when he's got explosives in him, and when they go off, he bounces away, and that will cause more misses than anything else on Gabriel. Also remember that if you hit him with a Winter's Bite, a fully upgraded Winter's Bite, because upgrades do count within Fletcher, it is better to stop shooting him with any other arrows. I mean, yeah, it won't take too long, Weaves. Jesus. There's only one situation that I would do that in, and that is if I was honestly that bothered about an achievement, trying to get a high achievement percentage from 0%. But it's only one more achievement and it'll take you fucking ages. Come on. Got that sandwich right here. Yeah, so as I was saying there, you need to be careful. If you hit Gabriel when he's got a lot of life with a Winter's Bite, keep hitting him. Oh, really? No, that's true. Being part of that Facebook group is a big thing. The one thing that I will say, because I'm a Warhammer and a Warhammer 40k nerd, proper, like King of the Nerd style nerd. It's my guilty pleasure is Warhammer and Warhammer 40k novels and books, and it's all I read. It's the only thing I read. I'm a massive board gamer, but D&D is always where I've drawn the line, because I just can't. I've never in my life been able to commit like 2 a day. has always been my problem because I've always got fucking so much on. Right, let's find that orphan. And let's remember we killed it this time as well. That would be good, wouldn't it? Right, we know... I can see, I don't know if you can see that little shimmer in the background there, but I know that the pit is not on this section, it's in section 2, and it's all because I can see that little shimmer of a pit thing there, which means the only thing that I need to be, you little shit, the only thing that I need to be looking for here now is the orphan, and I'm going to look for her by checking the areas that she can spawn in by being close to them. Let's get rid of these arrows. So in that circumstance as well, we also want to be cycling our arrows for something that would be good on a Cupid. This configuration is not too bad for what we're looking at doing. Oh, fucking hell. Right, there we go. Nope. 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 Yeah, volley 3, that'll do. Right. So. Can't hear any there. She can be over there. So let's go and have a check, shall we? Go over topwise. Go over topwise. There we go. Shout louder. The teleport arrows will happen. She would have usually spawned in by now. If you're about this close and she hasn't spawned in there, well then that's because she's not spawning there. So there's one last place in this configuration that she could possibly be, and it's on the left there. So let's try and land on her. We need to slow time right down to make sure that she isn't going to spawn in late or something silly like that. So I would go as far as staking my reputation on the fact that the orphan is not in the first section of Abyss, which means she's in the same section as the pit. Now do remember, as I said, the orphan is always, once you have her unlocked, in the third section of Purgatory, the second section of Paradise Lost, but she can be in either the first or second section of Abyss. There was a time when she could be doubled, i.e. in both, or in... Ooh. Oh, sorry, yeah. Nice one, Weebs. Yeah, orphan. You know what I meant. You knew what I meant. Orphan? Orphan? Nope, can't hear her, so she's not down there. She would have spawned by me being over the top of her. Go over here. Can't hear her. So the only place that she can be is in there. Let's slow her down like with that one. Sucks to be you. Yeah, Abyss is... Well, to be fair, Abyss isn't a too bad a level. It's easier, in my opinion, than Paradise Lost. The way to tackle Abyss is a video that I still need to do, because defanging Abyss is the best strategy that I've found, which is basically paying attention to where the Cupids are and taking them out first, and then the rest of the level is actually quite easy because there's so many. It's kind of like Purgatory in that there's so many rooftops and so many things for you to teleport on top of that you can fight things with the height advantage always. It's very difficult to do that in Paradise Lost. So this Paradise Lost, I think, other than pits, as I've said previously, oh, that was bad. And we go, if we ever do that, you go straight back to where you were and hope that everything despawns and try again. That was a terrible shot. There we go, we're in. It's a big bloody portal. How did I miss that? And you'll see that we're back in Despair. That could have been randomly generated because we did rest in Sanctuary, but it looks like these days... resting in Sanctuary doesn't seem to interfere with the order of pits. Cupids... Hang on a second, what did it say Cupids spawn? Oh, no, so yeah, as far as the Abyss is concerned, there's a lot less Cupids in Abyss than there is in Paradise Lost. Oh, that curse will hopefully do the good stuff. Whew, great shot. Too long. Too long a shot. We need to be right next to enemies when we take these shots. Yes, once you kill Cupids, they're dead. There's a lot... Cupids are the thing that will hit you on Abyss, but Cupids... Yes, Cupids are the thing that will get you hits on Abyss, which is why I think it's your best idea is to take Cupids out first in the Abyss, because once they're gone, there's not really much. It's difficult to do that in Paradise Lost because there's so many of them. Right, let's start cycling our arrows here. Nope. Divine Tight 3 might do the job, but let's say no. Volley times 5, that'll do us. Oh, nope. Ooh, almost in the lava. See how I cancelled my teleport arrow by quickly firing another one? So that I didn't end up in the drink? Bye-bye. Now let's go back and finish what we started a minute ago. Kill what we can here, because we don't have anything to fear behind us. Again, that's too far a shot to be taking. I don't mind taking shots at a bit of a greater distance when I've got Hail of Arrows or Hellfire, because I've kind of got 3 opportunities to miss. Well, I should say 3 opportunities to hit, but with my accuracy sometimes, I do wonder. We'll go back and get those enemies in a minute. Have I just gone 5 feet tall again? No, we're alright. So we'll kill you. Kill you. And again, it's only an extra 2 or 3... Yeah, defanging. I mean, it's A. I don't know if it's the best. It's just the strategy that I fixated on. And the reason why I defang Abyss and take out the Cupids first is because you can do it quite easily by just rooftop hopping. And there's not that many of them. And the reason why I started doing that is because it was always Cupids that got me on Abyss. It was always them that hit me. Every single bloody time. So I thought I would put pave to that by killing them before they could get me. There we go. He's up and running, look. Always bloody Cupids. Right, we shouldn't fight him up here. We should go down there. But, you know, this is quicker. Yes, you can... So you can... Yeah, you can... So let me find some... Hey, look, we've done it twice now. Right, let me get past all of this nonsense and I'll show you what I mean. Because there's multiple ways that you can cancel a teleport arrow, because we've all fired that teleport arrow that's going towards lava. I know I do it all the fucking time. And so you need to be quick to avoid it. There's several ways to do it, actually. So, first off, using slow time is key, because, look, I'm slowing the arrow down, so I've got time to react to where it might be landing and whether that's going to be a bad thing. And if I saw that arrow going, and I didn't like where it's going, I've got 2 options. Quickly fire another teleport arrow before it lands, and so it cancels the first one, or shard. Sharding cancels your teleport arrow as well. Aim for somewhere we can teleport to, and shard, and it cancels the teleport arrow. What was the other? There's one more. What else am I thinking of? Teleport arrow, sharding. Yeah, no, that's all of it. So yeah, teleport and then fire another one, and you'll teleport to the second teleport arrow, cancelling the first. or teleport and shard, and then that cancels it as well. But do use slow time as well, because then you get a better idea of whether you need to cancel that arrow or not. But do be aware that doing those sort of things can be a hindrance as well as a help, because your teleport arrow might be going somewhere that's going to get you out of trouble, and if you accidentally shard to dodge something else, you are no longer being moved out there. So that's worth noting, I think. Alright, I will just give the other one to know with sharding. Yeah, I do that all the time. I teleport into crowds all the time, so, and I used to die instantly, but not so much anymore. Right, let me just... Oh, battery's looking all right. Is it actually charging? Let me just check. Yes, it is. Lovely. Cool. So, ooh, that's nice. Look at the orange. The other thing to note as well with sharding, I said it earlier about spamming the shard button. So all I'm doing here is just tapping the grip button and moving my hand from left to right. And that allows you to do quick scrolls. So there's several ways to use the shard. One of them is to just tap it and flick. Forward, backward, left, right. But the other way is to spam it and then move your hand forward, or spam it and move your hand back, or spam it and move your hand left, or spam it and move your hand right. And you can very quickly move out of the way. The reason why that's useful as well is you only need one hand to do it. My sharding's actually got better because of decent tracking. Bad tracking will fuck sharding up big time for you. So be aware of that as well. There you go. The more you know. Right, Sean? The more you know indeed. So let's get Asmo out of the way and see where we are on the leaderboard after that. And then what I might do is I might continue this one on Saturday. No, of course they don't. Of course they don't. It's taken... Bear in mind, a lot of the stuff that I show off and do and various bits and pieces, I am standing on the shoulders of giants, namely For the Right. He's discovered a lot of stuff about this game that we all take for granted. It was him who, as I remember, it was the person that came up with what I then later called snow globing. I didn't come up with snow globing. I probably refined his technique a little bit on it, but what he was doing was working fine until even when I came along. So, but you know, you all help each other out and such. No. Okay, I'm gone. Ow! So the other thing that I've done with Asmo here is note how I have... This is what I like to call cupping Asmo with the hand of God. Cupping Asmo, or firing a hand of God arrow into his groinal, well, attachment area ever, I guess. Puts him into slow time. But you got to come here one day. Old Asmo's easy, don't worry. There, that's the shot that you need to make to put Asmo into slow time. Bear in mind, it puts him into slow time, not the rocks he throws. And again, we'll let these come in. Normally, you want to learn how to shoot those, but in Fletcher, every shot that we miss could potentially damage us, so we don't want to be taking any unnecessary shots. That's why I don't in this mode. Why you move? And back. Bosh! Lovely. Yeah, about that, Melissa. So, to unlock Hand of God, you fuck! To unlock Hand of God. Oh! Oh, yeah, we'll do. He's not wrong. I mean, freak is one answer to it, I suppose. God, I lost so much life there. Right. And let's get you into position. Where you going? Nice and close. Lovely. Yeah, that's why you don't do rapid fire on these guys, because you can easily move them and then miss the next shot. Very easy to do. Yeah, 1,701 ghosts to unlock Hand of God as a arrow within the game. You get it automatically in Fletcher as one of the arrows that you cycle to. So again, at this point, wait for his shield to come down. If you hit him, get rid of that. If you hit him whilst his shield is up, it does not count as a hit. So as soon as that flame shield thing goes, now we can hit him and start cycling our arrows. But we got exactly what we wanted first time. Raw. Do your Hadoken skull like a good boy. And one more. No, one more. There we go. Those, Melissa, are called dorsal flanges. I love that word. I use every excuse that I can to say it. Sean knows. Note how I am using this spamming technique. I know, right? No, he cannot reach out and touch Faith. However, he can throw all of that shit at you, so you don't need to worry about being swatted. Right. Note how he is in slow time, and it slows all of this happening as well. Like, he hasn't even raised the first level of lava up, so this can buy you additional time at this stage of the game. So we want to keep them, and at this stage of the, don't kill any of these things, kill that guy. Just this guy. It's going to be difficult. That'll get him though. We killed him by accident again. Okay, never mind. It's not too bad. We have the technology. That's twice now. Terrible behaviour, isn't it? Ah, you hit escape, Asthma, I guess. Right, where's that arrow? Ah, almost got him. Hello. And Cataclysm, 4 headshot, go. Ah, I didn't kill him. There you go, that should. No, that's not gonna. That did. Lovely. Lost more life than I would like, but let's see if we get lucky and get a full complement back. No, this area is easy. You don't have to do all of that killing that I did as well. It's actually easier to avoid killing all of that in the main game because you can control the effects that your shots have on the enemies, because you can fire vanilla arrows or special arrows. It's your choice. So, let's go to Purgatory. And then, oh yes, I was going to do this a cycle ago, wasn't I? We were going to go and have a look at some achievements. Right, let's go and see where we are on the leaderboards now. We have completed 3 cycles, and all we have killed, all we've made a point of doing is killing orphans, killing the bosses to just basically get past the level, and we are at 882,000. That puts us 7th in the world. I'm streaming, and we've only been playing for 2 hours and 40 minutes. I'm quite happy with that. quite happy to just stay there. Now, these scores will improve because there's people who can play this game as well as me, if not better, and they can probably do this just as well. That was a regular incubi. It just looks bigger. Thank you, Cynthia. Most appreciated. No, we're good. Battery seems to be holding out just fine. Thank you very much. So, we'll have a quick look at the achievements, and then I'll maybe skim through another level or two, and then we'll call it a night. Be nice to get to 1 million points in one stream, and then we can continue this on Saturday. So, just for you, Melissa, the ones that you... Oh, well, this is for anybody, really. Achievements that you need. You need to get Bone Collector level 3 for scoring purpose. No, not Bone Collector. Wrong one. Yeah. Score 666 headshots in one afterlife. Increase headshot bonus damage by 200%. Now, that is the top level of that, but note how there are other levels. 26 headshots in one life, 56 headshots in one life, 126 headshots in one life. This you should be capable of, I think, if you can, beat Asmo and beat Anakim and get to the next level, or maybe here. But if you can get through this, scoring 666 headshots in one afterlife, once you've done that once, you never have to do it again, and then you are doing double damage for every headshot that you do, which kills enemies quicker, which is what we want. Picking up the pieces is one that you want to get to level 3 for scoring purposes, because every headshot that you hit then adds an additional 15 bonus gold-ish to your things. River of Blood doesn't really matter too much. Some of these that add additional arrows do matter, but I won't go through that. 1,701 Ghosts adds Hand of God to the world. That is essential. Abolish the Incubi. You gain 1 permanent holy armor. Not essential, but nice to start out with. Don't need any of these. Don't need that. Don't need any of these. Or that. Or that. What else do we need? Adds Titan to the world is worth having when you get your life up high enough. You only need 1 of those to get to maximum. This one, the Innocent. When you drink the blood of the lamb, there is a 30% chance that you get healed for 2 instead of 1. Very important achievement for longevity. And all you have to do is kill 103 orphans. Orphanization will help you get to this. By playing this the way that I'm playing it, not only can you score well, but you will be able to get this achievement quite easily because you're just killing orphans and you're doing it quite fast. Die 66 times, important achievement. Add holy armor to the world. That keeps you going longer. The Unwanted, this is also very important. Bonus ammo for all arrows, plus 30%. Very important. Arrow of God, make the most unbelievably long headshot. I have a video up for a very easy place to do this. Increase distance-based damage by 200%. Better for the bow than it is for the crossbow because it's a long-range weapon and does more damage over distance. This adds to that, but it still does more damage over distance for the crossbow. And that's got various levels. I'm just showing you the top level of it. You just have to make a very long headshot. Most of these you don't need to upgrade except Freezing Hell. You need this. This should read frozen damage over time deals additional damage based on 5% of enemies' current health is what this should read, because that's how it works. It's nothing to do with max health, because otherwise your tick damage would always do the same amount of damage for every shot that you put into, say, Anakim. But it doesn't. You get depreciating returns as his current health is dropped. So that one is important. That's not true, Weebs. You can quit levels and still get the achievements. Just like you can quit levels and still get the progress towards them. I know this because I double checked that on the Pico version. So, but then this is the thing, it might have been a long time since you got a click, because you probably got most of yours, Weeb, so, you know. And these things do change from iteration to iteration of the game. These ones, the ones that I was talking about as far as orphans are concerned, complete purgatory without ever spending gold. So just don't go in the shop, rooftop hop all the way through purgatory, kill enemies and pick up Cataclysm if you get it, so that you can kill Anakim, and then that will then mean that orphans are trapped in purgatory and you get the option to save them. These ones are very important. Complete purgatory without ever taking damage. You gain 1 health permanently. And you have that... No, you don't have to... So you have to either die or quit your run to get the achievement. You don't have to die to get the achievement. You do have to end... What Weebs might have been getting at is that you do have to end your run and completely finish a run for some achievements to start working. So, for instance, if I started a 0% profile now and went through Purgatory and got Mastery, and then Paradise Lost and got Mastery, and then through Abyss and got Mastery, my health bar would go from 6 to 9, or at least it should do, but it won't do until I quit the run that I'm on and it allows the game to update. There are some achievements in the game that update when you return to Sanctuary or save and quit. The vast majority do not happen until you end the run or die within it. Anyway, let's get some more orphans annihilated, shall we? This is a great way to rack up your orphan kills and learn where orphans are, and also learn where pits are as well. So, alright, let's see where the pit is. Is it over here? Yes, it is. Great place to enter the pit from on this level is back here. If we can stand on here, we can get a clear shot to there without having to worry too much about anything around it, and we're in. Note how we alerted a load of stuff there as well, because they got alerted by the arrow flying past. But when we have left the level, when we come back in again, they have all despawned, and then they all respawn when we come back in the level. So they all stop. That's mastery. Masteries. There's mastery in every level and every pit. And masteries are usually how you increase your life permanently. They are very important achievements because the more life you have, in theory, the longer you can last. The longer you can last, the more achievements you can get, or the more you can get done in one sitting. Where's that orphan? So now that are we in cycle 3 or cycle 4? I can't remember. Over there. Yes, you definitely need more life. Always go strive for more life. The orphan's down the bottom there. Right, let's see if we can... So, note how I'm being a little bit more ginger. Oh, have you passed through? Come on! Stupid fucking game. That was a pass through, so this is why you don't want to fire shots too quickly after each other, because they can pass through enemies. I fired 3 arrows there and they all went through him, and it's because he was reeling from a headshot already. Doesn't happen very often, but part and parcel of the fact that it does happen in this mode is another reason why I play Fletcher the way that I play it. Now, let's get volley 5, get in there, kill that orphan. Where is she? Up here. Hello. Goodbye. Let's do a bit of damage here if we can. Drop a curse. That's good. And leave. Still cursed, eh? Yeah, we'll take you out. Happy days. Note how I've definitely hit him with an explosive arrow, so I only fire 1 or 2 more arrows into him again, so that he doesn't move whilst I'm trying to hit him. Divine Sights I don't care about missing. Those I do. There you go. That's him down. So we've done the important part of the level. Now we're just going to play this... I mean, we haven't lost too much life already, but we're going to play this reasonably safe. Don't think... What was the enemy palette? Skeleton archers and skeleton warriors. That's not too bad. That's just too good an opportunity to miss, because a lot... Those explosions will kill a lot of that. You're sneaky. Very sneaky. Let's get up here then if you're going to do that. And 2 and 3. Ooh, teleporting jump strike. Skeleton warriors, ladies and gentlemen, bastards. Ooh, oh, double. Little buggers. I was supposed to be being all careful and shit. I only heard them because of the bloody lightning. That wasn't so great. I think we'll be alright though. Let's get you. Note how I waited for the turn before I took that shot as well. Let's get some in your shield to get some effects down. Quite the jump strike that guy had. Where are you? There you are. Where have you gone now? There you are. Let the explosion do its thing on the skeleton. Might as well fire that through. Hopefully get something behind it. Yes, we did. Oh, you little shit. Not doing very well now. Note how Fletcher goes from awesome to shit in as much time as it takes to string those two words together. We are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 life down. And I'm paying attention right now. Well, I think I'm paying attention right now. Maybe I'm getting a bit fatigued. Maybe it's time to call it a night. Would you like another? There we go. I mean, to be fair, I did get completely dicked by that skeleton to begin with the old pass-through. But still. Alright, you can have a winter's bite. Oh, you fucking shitbag. See that turn? And this is why I hate fighting enemies and why I just reserve my shots for cupids. Because there's so many factors. All those little turns that they do, all those little maneuvers. And it all messes your shot up and causes the misses. And it all leads to your run ending. To be fair, I'm not being as careful and as clever as I should be. But it's because we're almost done. I'll grab your health and I am out. Note, as soon as your teleport arrow is connected with the pit exit, you are invincible. You cannot be touched. That is true of going into any portal. So, again, that was the hard part. That was the bit that we budget a lot of life loss for, because those pits are fucking difficult. At higher cycles, especially. And I should have done that a lot slower, but I didn't. So, there you go. And I'm now going to cycle arrows to try and get something good for taking out the orphan. Perfect. Perfect. Second section, heading into third section. We know it's the third section because it is the section just before Anakin's Bastille, or castle or ruin or fortress or get out of the way, whatever you want to call it. KO for you. Have one of those. And we're going back up and we leave. And it's now, you'll note as well now how I am, because things are starting to get harder, because we are on much harder cycles for doing this now, how I am religiously sticking to my rules. And I've got Divine Sight 3, so we will keep hold of that for old Anakim and Fletcherous. Again, invincible at this point. Because I am now trying to recover my life, as opposed to squander it like I have done the last couple of levels. Ooh. I will change my battery over now. There we go. There we go. There we go. Right. Anakim again. Now, it's at this cycle. I think it was at cycle 4. Was it cycle 4? Cycle 3? Cycle 4. What's the score like? So we're over that 1 million mark. Happy days. Now, the reason why this works, and the reason why you can do this technique and get into the top 10 if you can get a few cycles in, is because this is a very hard mode and not a lot of people are playing it this way. So keep it to yourselves. No, fuck it, tell everyone. I'll just have to get better at it. So, again, we're going to wait for his turn. I usually shoot Divine Sight up quite high in the hope that they will swoop down and hit him in the head, because that's worth quite a lot of points. And it's enough to trigger. Hold there. Thank you very much. Holy Light is about the worst fucking arrow you can get in this situation. Correct. That's just how this mode works. Yeah, Weebs, you should know that about me by now. I'm always right. Sometimes. I'm right 60% of the time, every time. Weebs. Every time. Right, that hasn't gone quite as well as we want it to. We don't want to burn him down here. I want to kill... doesn't surprise me. Right, that should stop him in his tracks there. Give us a chance to nail some more enemies to the fucking wall here. Let's kill that knight. That's you. Yeah. There we go. And we'll go over here. Note how I'm not too concerned about alerting knights. At this point, I am concerned about the amount of damage that I'm doing to old Annie Bobs. This hasn't worked out very nicely. But we'll work with what we got. Are you behind me? I think I've pushed you into the wall, haven't I? Sorry, dear. Gonna have to block that one. And away. Oof. That was from his aura as well. That was terrible behaviour, that. Right, let's try and get this side alerted. Hello. Ooh, you cheeky little shit. Right, so we're going to do some more damage to him here to alert the... Oh, right under his armpit. Alert the, you know what? No, this is a bit dangerous. I reckon we can burn him down now. Gonna have to deal with these guys first, though. Hear them behind me? Ooh, that was lucky. Now, they are in front of me, but they are obstructed. We should be able to kill him before they get chance to do anything. But note how all of those pillars are in the way of those arches from this side as well. So it's another good place to burn him down from. We took way too much damage here. But hopefully we'll get some doubles. Ready? Double! Yes. Double! Oh. Double! Oh. Okay, well, we got some doubles. But again, it's Anakim and his accompanying pit in Purgatory that we budget for losing a lot of life in. We shouldn't be losing much life in Paradise Lost. We shouldn't be using too much life in Abyss, if any. Cataclysm 5 will work to burn the orphan down. To orphanihilate her. Oh, the other thing that I forgot to tell you. This one's again for you, Melissa. Did you know? When you aim your teleport arrow at a surface, if with the crossbow, if the same hand that you are aiming at with a loaded teleport arrow vibrates, the landing location is valid. With the bow, it is the off hand, the hand that you are using to draw the arrow. If it vibrates when you are drawing a teleport arrow, then the landing location, i.e. where you are aiming towards, is a valid one. Where's that orphan? Is she on the ground floor? Let's go and check. Nope, she ain't on the ground floor. Now, it's this cycle and above where doing this on Paradise Lost gets extremely dodgy. Is she down there? She's not downstairs. She's got to be above us then. Okay. So she's got to be here. No. Hey, where is she? This is the epitome of fucking risk. This is. What the fuck? Where are you? You little shit. Hold still. Right, hopefully that'll blow her up. Okay, this is very risky. But this is why we're here. And then turn vibrate on. Of course, right. See, and there was me thinking it was you dildo you were talking about, but no, I defaulted to the expecting that you were going to be talking about the game, so that's fine. Of course it won't vibrate your dildo if you turn it off. Right, so we got our orphan. That was silly risky. We should have lost probably a lot more life than that. And that's part of the reason why when you start getting into the later cycle play of this, I would forgive you for not going after the orphan in Paradise Lost. She is only worth 25,000 points. That is quite a bit in the grand scheme of things, but when you're getting to these higher cycles, keep the orphans in the pits are the big hitters. They're worth almost 3 times that. Right, off you go. Note how I got a headshot with a Tempest there, and that was because I aimed quite high off of his head. Tempests are the best arrow for burning Gabriel down very quickly. Yeah, she's an absolute nightmare. That specific configuration is the worst. There's a hell of a lot of places that she can be in, and they're all very busy. Looking away. 2, 3 sword strikes, and then back out. Would love to get a Winter's Bite, and then that Winter's Bite we will leave in him. Notice the tick damage at 450 odd. We don't want to replace that with another effect, so we don't want to really shoot him with anything else. Ooh. Tempest, good. Note how I aimed well over his head with that Tempest to ensure that it got the headshot. That's what you have to do with Tempest, unfortunately. Ugh, fireballs. Shields up. Now, if we can get through this without taking a hit, we will definitely be back at full life, and that's what we want. It increases our longevity. Ugh. I always forget to do it, if I'm honest. It's a very cool effect. It looks even better in the original. That smooth original. Right, come on then. Ain't got all day. And again, at this stage as well, unless you are super comfortable with doing it, you don't need to go for headshots. He is worth points, but you don't need to go for headshots on Gabriel. We're just in... Again, we're not looking at scoring from the boss. You should, through playing the game... Lovely. Through playing the game the way that I'm talking about, you should be looking at getting... I didn't do that. You should be looking at getting about 300,000 points per cycle. So, like, for instance, I would expect to be at 1.2 million by the end of this cycle, which we can do now, I think. Got enough time? What time is it? Yeah, what a great place to end it when double damage starts. Yeah, the next stream is not going to go so well if I don't warm up for it. So, I might do this more on Saturday, unless anybody has got any requests. Let's get cycled for good arrows. Nope, not good enough. Nope. This is a good way to cycle arrows from within a Hand of God bubble. Again, note we are not bothered about kills at this point. We are just looking for that. Or something like it. Volley times 5. Oh, I've gone out the wrong fucking door. This way. Oh, what, in death? Yeah. It's all right. I wouldn't recommend it at its normal price. I'm pushed to recommend it at £9, like a half price, because it's not even half the game this one is. It's nice looking and everything, but there's so many quality of life decisions that were made in this game as opposed to the original in-death game. Is the pit there? No, it's not. Not hearing an orphan. She might be here. Let's go and check. No. Oh. No, she can't be over here. Oh, but the pit can be. Of course it bloody is. Right, this is one of the nasty pits. We are going to have to clear the surrounding area to be able to get into this one without taking damage. So, let's kill these guys. And you. Oh, that missed. God damn it. Cool. And that will alert some skeletons, but they'll come up here. If we can get easy headshots, then do go for them. But like that, let them burn down. Don't risk trying to get that last shot on them. It's not worth it. Right, and we'll wait here a second and just make sure there's nothing more teleporting in or nothing nasty coming our way or anything along those lines. And then for here, we simply stand. Can we do it from the back, actually? No, he's coming up as well now. Brilliant. Never lose that ragdoll, IDU. Please don't. It's so good. It happens at just the right amount of time. There we go. There's our entrance. And the same as what I was talking about happens when you aim at a pit as well. So aiming here, this controller is vibrating. Aiming here, it is not, because that is not a valid teleport location. Note as well, as it's in flight, it sparks to denote that it's going to fail. But if I aim at the pit, lovely. I wonder if they will. I would have thought they would have done it for PlayStation VR by now if that was on the cards. I genuinely don't think it is. I hope it is, but I don't think it is. Right, she is... I think she's right at the bottom, which is a bit of a pain in our bottom. This one, again, is one that I would budget losing a lot of life for to get, because she is a hard take, and there's not very many enemies on the way down to her to cycle through arrows. That's going to have to do. Let's go. And... oh, you little shit. She blew up. And we run. And we run. And we run. We'll kill him. We'll fire that over the edge as well. But, importantly, we run. Because we have assassinated our orphan, and there's a lot of hot shit behind us. This is cornering, by the way, just in case you didn't know, Melissa. If you hang to any corner when enemies are chasing you and stand a little bit back from it, note how these knights will now come round this corner. Because they're a little bit faster, because we're at higher cycle, they'll overshoot the corner to about here, and then they will line up and try and smack me. But look at all this time we have to do something about that. This cycle, they've got so much life that I actually have to step back. But you can... and this works on any enemy, I might add as well. I call it cornering. Again, this is something that I picked up from Fortherite, I think. Works with everything as well, Melissa, not just knights. If I was here, these... oh, I'll try and show you. Oh, hang on. Note how he comes across, turns to face me, and then hits me. Again, comes in, turns to face me, and only then can he attack. I don't know why it works, it just works. That was a nice arrow to get. That's another one. As soon as the incubi on the level comes to life, I think he's instantly alerted on this level. Yeah, they come around the corner and they reposition, but you can do it. Yeah, but he doesn't need to be playing Fletcher anymore, does he? Weebs, he's, you know, Fletcher's just a mode. He needs to learn the main game. That'll give him all the experience he needs. Hello! I've been waiting for you. Let's get nice and close so we don't miss these headshots. Kill you nice and quickly. He's got a slightly bigger head, so I would allow you to, or I would recommend you deal with him at a little bit further a distance. There we go, so he's dead. Portal is open. We can collect our health. Back up to tops. Now, you don't, if you're not confident at this range with your arrows, you don't need to take that guy out. You can go up and around the corner, but I would recommend taking him out because it just alerts a lot less enemies in the level. Don't need to kill him. That's a risky shot that I don't need to take. Again, wait for that pentagram from those summoners to disappear before you move past, otherwise it can do you damage. And then we're just going to hop to here and then hop to there, and we're done. Easy. Easy job. And we've done the pit, but we haven't found the orphan yet. I remembered. Again, I can check my score and see that I'm not... Well, I don't know. Could be. Actually done all right on headshots at some point because of that score. Now let's go find that orphan. She wasn't in section 1, I don't think. And we definitely didn't kill her, I don't think. Although my memory is appalling. Let's get into section 2. Kill her, kill Asmo, and then we are ready to cycle 5. Where this process does get a bit harder because double damage. But the fact of the matter is, we shouldn't be taking damage from enemies. We should be only taking damage from missed shots. And regardless of cycle, and again this is another reason why I play it the way I play it, regardless of cycle, you only ever take 1 point of damage from a missed shot in Fletcher mode. Oh, just. Did I get you? I think I got you. Yeah, I got you. We got loads of life. Let's get some extra headshots. Again, breaking my own rules. This is where you end up losing life. Where you don't need to. These are headshots I don't need to be taking. Just fucking leave. I am a big believer in congratulating yourself when you do good stuff. And telling yourself off when you are either doing bad stuff or about to do bad stuff, like I just did then. Say it out loud. You might actually listen to yourself and fucking leave. I know I often do. Tell myself off all the time. I must sound fucking mad. But it works. It works for me anyway. So, one last time on Asmo, and then I think we will call it a night. And we'll have a look at the leaderboard, see where we've got to in a night. Bear in mind as well, it is still early doors. There's still a lot of people who can up their scores and add to their scores. I know... I would imagine 3.5 to 4 million will be the top score on Fletcher, unless fucking LG gets involved. In which case it could be a lot higher. So, but bear in mind, and that's exactly the arrow that we're on, bear in mind there won't be that many people that play Fletcher, and if they do, they won't get a very good score, which means that you, if you're watching this and think you can pull this off, could get a decent score. Get out of my way! Again, let them get close to me. Move away. As I said, you need to get a specific achievement before skulls take that long to explode. There's several levels of it. And it's through it's the exploding head killer achievement, but you won't unlock that one to be able to look at it until... Ugh. An awful arrow. That's better. Excellent. Any more for any more? Yeah, you won't unlock that achievement to look at it until you have got to Abyss. Ah, I knew that was going to explode. That's why you wait for effects to go off on arrows before you fire the next shot. Classic example. Yeah, it's doing so well. Again, we can afford a couple of misses. Note how that miss hasn't cost me any life yet, and the reason being is because it's still travelling. Now it's hit nothing, so now it hits me. Ah! Ah well, we can afford those. Note how me being lazy and not sticking to my own rules is how I lose life. Well, lazy's a strong term. It's getting, I've been playing a while now. It's getting a bit warm. So one thing that I have noticed as my headset's got older is it overheats. Or, it doesn't overheat, it just gets a lot hotter quicker. Which makes me particularly warm. Alright, let's get those homing arrows. There we go. Excellent. And we vogue. Always with these rocks, always go into the rock as opposed to away from it, because it has a curve on it when it's coming towards you, and it can be very difficult to gauge whether it's going to hit you or not if you are dodging away from it. But if you dodge past it and into it, it's a lot easier. Ooh, weren't paying attention then. That'll do us. Kill that, go up, kill that. 1, 2. Damn it! Another unnecessary miss. Again, how easy a shot is that? The dorsal flanges are huge, but I still managed to fuck it up and lose a life. Still. Alright, let's kill these off. Right, you can have one of those. You can have that. You can have that. You can have that. You can have one of those. And then the explosions will go off. And then I'll finish you with that. Curse of God, this is a terrible arrow to have in this situation, because I just want to kill the archer. So I'm going to try and lure all of these guys away from the archer before I kill him with this arrow. Otherwise... no, we're going to have to just kill him now. I want him dead because I don't want him hitting me in the back. And we might be able to finish Asmo here quick. There we go. Notice my horizontal technique there. Horizontal arrows do better against Asmo's horns than vertical ones, except homing arrows. Now, with a little bit of luck, a little energon and a little bit of luck, hey, and we're back up to full life. It's like we're just starting fresh, but without armor. And there we go. So we are now at the heady heights of cycle 5, ready to begin. Double damage is now coming, but remember, misses still... yes, no, that's quite right. I could have. I didn't, to be honest with you, Vega, that's a very good point. It must be getting late and I must have had a long day, because I didn't think of that. No, you're quite right. I could have done that. Could have done that indeed. So there you go. Just behind the mighty fishnets, which is our own Michael Fish, in one sitting of just over 3 hours. 3 hours and, well, I don't know, we were faffing around for 20 minutes at the start, so yeah, about 3 hours. 1.2. And I know a lot of you are capable of doing that, just killing orphans, just killing. Yeah, it's been a long day. Wednesdays is my longest day because I do 3 hours streaming in the morning for Pico, or a couple of hours to 2 to 3 hours streaming in the morning for Pico, and then I come on and do this stream on a Wednesday as well. So Wednesday is always my longest day. So yeah, but I stream on Pico Monday through to Friday for a couple of hours. Curse of God is a great arrow, but again, it's like most arrows in this game, other than like Winter's Bite and well, yeah, kind of Winter's Bite and Holy Hand of God, is that they are great until you get to higher cycles, and then when you're at higher cycles, you realise that they just don't cut it anymore, and it's really annoying. It's one of the reasons why I like Fletcher, especially the way that I'm playing it, is you get to use all the fucking arrows. You have to. You are forced to. So you are then forced to use all the good stuff. I like the special arrows in this game. It annoys me that late game there's only really one way to stack your quiver out and certain arrows that you have to use. I think the metagame should have evolved by now to something else, but it hasn't. And on that meta gameplay bombshell, we will end it there. This has been In Death Unchained on the Quest 2. I have been Silver Tongue Devil. Good night.